Welcome to Minimalist. We're Joe, Michael and Springer Spaniel George, and we've been continuously cruising on our narrowboat Perseverance for almost 5 years. We've been on a quest to go absolutely everywhere on the connected waterways of England and Wales, which also inspired me to create some tube-style maps of the canal and river system, which we sell online. It's now time to give Perseverance some very overdue TLC and tackle all the jobs that we've been planning and putting off since we moved aboard. So it's been a couple of days since we last filmed in the bathroom, and there's been many discussions on what we should do. Should we keep the bath? Should we change the bath around so the taps are at the end where there's more ceiling height? Should we put a shower tray in? Should we remove the arch? Should we keep the arch? Should we put tile board on? Should we put tiles on? Should we put paint on? Should we... Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and then what colour should it be? Should we put tiles on the floor? Should we have lino on the floor? So, as well as all those discussions, we have... Well, Michael has been taking all of these brown dots off the wall, but that's quite a slow process. And we also discovered a little issue with our towel warmer, because Andrew, who is the very helpful guy that has lent us his boat and his use of his workshop, said, why is there the Jubilee clip on your towel warmer? We don't know. And apparently it's because there was a little pinhole leak in it. So we're also changing the towel warmer now. So it is that thing where you pull a bit of string and then you keep pulling and you keep pulling because you keep finding other things to do. So the next jobs are to continue taking the red dots off the wall, to take the tile warmer away, find a new tile warmer, cap this off. We need it off anyway to get behind it to prepare the wood. So prepare the wood for whatever's going on top. We think paint, we think tiles on the bottom half, and we think paint on the top half. Because we're thinking of doing whitewash in the main area of the boat, we thought the bathroom would be a perfect place to test that because it's quite small. So if anything goes wrong, we can strip it back or we can paint over solid, and we can see if it's an effect we want to do everywhere else. So to do that, we need to strip off whatever varnish is on here. So yeah, we need to do that. Oh yeah, and we also discovered that we've got 3 different materials in the shower. We've got, what's this wool?
That's just regular ply.
Regular ply.
This I think is marine ply.
Marine ply.
And that is an oak-faced veneer covered MDF.
So they'll either need preparing for tiles or we'll need to use a special tile adhesive. So we need to work out what to do there. We also are thinking of what to do with this boxing in because it's a bit fiddly. So we might just come up straight from there to meet this wall here.
Yeah, so we can put in a faucet coming out of the wall instead of out of the...
And blanking off the bath. That's what it looks like at the moment. There's the towel warmer that we've got.
And you can see on the bottom left of the top rung, you can see the bubble.
Yeah, so there's some water damage there, and there's a hole under the painted Jubilee clip. So great bodge there. It's time to get on with taking this towel warmer off the wall.
Okay, so those are closed. These are ultimately garbage. It's really stupid how they were mounted in here. Like they should have been mounted out to the edges, and there should have been 4, and then we'd have actually been able to use it for towels. But because they did it like this, it's just been a radiator that's not very useful. And it doesn't really matter which side I choose. I think I'm going to go with the one that's easier for me to reach, which is... I want to try and transfer it into here as fast as I can. Now, my little guy there. really not on very tight at all, which is good.
Get the bucket closer.
I need to loosen that so I can get some rotation. It's not nearly as black as I would have expected.
It doesn't smell nearly as much as I expected.
No, well, yeah, but you can see how some of it is, like, it's dark.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting dark.
Yeah, and that's all the rust, because this should be basically just clear, slightly bluish water. Also, don't get any of that in your mouth. Luckily, we just want to get as much as we possibly can out of this thing. Remove a couple of rags on that side.
Just hand loosening that one.
Yeah. Oh, crap. Just can't quite keep it straight. There we go.
That's alright, it's hardly anything dripping. So yeah, you can see more rust at the bottom.
Yeah. So,
And yeah, that's how rusty it was.
oh god, yeah, look at how bad that is.
Under there and under there.
It's been dripping for a while. It's slow, but
It's Michael sticking to the floor.
and it's me sticking to the floor. So probably should get some paper towel so I can rub this down. Because the worry is with antifreeze is that George will find this sweet smelling in.
Right.
Yeah, it's very poisonous for him.
Let's put it on the back because he doesn't go on the back.
Yeah. Okay, so problem 2 is these guys are just on a 90-degree junction, which, like I say, is a 20-plus-year-old piece of plumbing. Those junctions, if they get too disturbed, they'll start to weep and leak antifreeze mixed water into here. Now I'm planning on moving that pipe anyway, so if we disable that pipe, that's fine. The question in my mind is whether or not we've got a liquid vac, so whether or not I use the vacuum to suck the liquid out of these things and get us back down to the point where I can disconnect them there, and then I've bought some plugs to plug them off and just dead end them for now. So that would make it easier for me to do work on the wall and get access down behind those pieces. It also would make it so that I don't have to worry about when I'm going in to do any work on the bathtub or anything. I don't have to worry about knocking those things, breaking those pipes, and suddenly having a flood of antifreeze into the area. So I'd prefer to disable them. However, that means the potential for more mess. We do have a liquid vacuum. Andrew lent us a really nice battery-powered vacuum, and all we have to do is pop a filter out of it and it will suck in liquids, so we can use that to vacuum up anything that's inside the pipes and try and collect anything that comes out. It shouldn't be pressurized in there.
If it was, wouldn't it be spilling out? Oh no, you've turned them
That's
off.
why the valves are on there.
Right.
But we'll find out as soon as I open the valves whether or not there's any pressure. It should just be gravity, and the vacuum should overcome it, right, as I turn it on. So I'm thinking of doing that. However, the risk is, I'm just guessing, and having eyeballed it, that pipe is actually 15 mil pipe, right? Certainly looks like it is, but usually these push fit things aren't done straight onto metal. They're done onto the PVC or whatever it is, and yeah. So I'm just not completely certain, but hopefully it is. So what do you think? Should I do it?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're gonna do it. So what we need to do is convert the vacuum to liquid use and get it inside of here. Okay, so those two 22 mil pipes, I should have thought of this before. Those two 22 mil pipes are the ones that are the feed for the internal heating coming off the coil in the calorifier. It's just a U-bend at this point. It goes up, it goes past that radiator, and then underneath the bathtub it does a 90 degree and then another 90 degree, and it comes straight back.
Because all the radiators are on the other side of the boat.
Yeah, all the regular radiators are on the other side of the boat. So to isolate, there is thankfully an isolation valve for this. So I should be able to simply close both of these. Of course, reaching down into an area full of high voltage electrical cables. Yes, for the sake of safety, I'm going to turn the power off to the boat. Has disconnected. Yes. Okay. All right. And the return is off.
Can you take the lid off now?
You gotta just love how we know which one's hot because it's got a bit of red electrical tape around it. So that should have us very limited. So the only thing that should be an issue is the water. So now we should only have to drain the isolated part of the circuit, not drain the loop inside the calorifier, the overflow with the extra antifreeze and water in it, and all three of our other radiators. So good. I do not have to vacuum suck out 3 times the capacity of the vacuum now. So, okay. And in fact, we've got no pressure at all. So because those are now full voltage, and we cut that off, there's no pressure, like the gravity is not pushing anything through.
So do we need to cap them off now?
Yeah, so now to cap them off, we have to take them off down here. But there will probably be some liquid in here. So I'm going to tighten it off again. Hopefully that will act like putting your fingertip on the end of a straw. All right, and it'll keep at least some of it from draining out because there won't be anywhere for it to siphon to. So that's our...
It was just pushed in.
Yep.
Yeah, just pops out.
There we go. It's just a little bit of water down there. Really just push fit flanking pegs. It's always useful that the instructions on the back of these things are always how to make connections that are never the thing you're actually trying to connect. Right? So like there's no instructions here for a blanking peg. These are end stops, and the instructions are not for end stops. I love these companies for their dedication to sensibility. But effectively, I'm just trying to make a dead end. And because there's no pressure in here, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just to keep any, if this gets pressurized, it's to try and keep the liquid in. And if it doesn't get pressurized, which it shouldn't, then it's just to keep George from having something to lick onto. So that now should hold if it gets pressurized. We're not going to pressurize it until we actually replace the thing. So, it's just a dead end. And we'll do the same thing here. Now this one was already loose. That explains some of the liquid that was around it. So the idea is to replace this with a new radiator.
If we can agree on one to buy.
If we can agree on one to buy. And I think we should go for the classic looking style. But anyway, the point is we get the new radiator and we can plumb it in its new position. We'll replace the pipe, these two pipes. We'll cut off back here.
Right.
And we'll join them to regular speed fits, like new speed fits. And we'll run up and back. Or we'll probably do it actually under the bed. And that will allow us to make the same connection but move it to the new locations, because the odds of these being in the same place for a new set of radiators are 0.
And and we might even end up doing a smaller boxing in than was here before, potentially.
Yeah, well, that's the hope. I would really like, because the box in came out to here.
Yeah, you can see it.
It's quite deep. I'd rather do it narrower and a little bit taller.
Yeah.
And I'm going to replace this thing with like a push fit so that you can get into it, but it doesn't have to be...
It's not like a feature, whereas it was a bit of an ugly feature with a rusting or tarnished brass
Exactly.
knob.
And this is where if we go with the decision to tile up to say here, then we can make that cut and the tile unit.
Oh, I didn't think we were tiling that at all.
Well, we can do. It's an option, right? Because the same arguments exist for tiling this. You can see there's already been water damage here, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So the same arguments exist for tiling this as before.
Don't know what to do.
Yeah. But we need to rough it in first. Like we need to put in the box in.
Yeah, before we decide.
And then there's decision about boxing in. Does the boxing in get tile on it, etc.
Yeah.
So there's lots of
decisions to make. Someone's letting fireworks off and George is just not happy about it.
Yeah. And so that's that out of commission. And now I can take these guys off, remove this nail I just found, and those boards. And then
you don't want to leave the boards for the boxing?
No, I'm going to do different ones anyway. They're going to have to be higher. Alright, so is there a set screw? Yes, there's a set screw. So that will make life a lot easier because I do not have a screwdriver that can go down that hole, even though there is a little Phillips or other crosshead screw down there. So I need the screwdriver with the flat head, which is probably too wide. Nope, it just fits. Yay! So that little worm screw should just come out a little ways, and then this pops off, and now I'll be able to get to the screw inside there. So that's how not complicated these things are. Yep, that goes in. And a little bit better bite on that screw, so hopefully. Nope.
The screw holding this last hanger to the wall is stripped, so Michael decides that his only option is to take the multi-tool blade to it.
Yep.
Much better. That turn?
Not in the slightest.
Left hand.
Keep slipping off the...
Hooray!
Yep.
Well done. And that's the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember, this is not a how-to video, more of a how we did it video. Thanks for watching.